What's going on, y'all? So I had a subscriber, you know who you are. He was interested in coming to the company that I'm at. I'm not gonna say which terminal that he's at, but I gave him the rundown about the company, told him everything that I know. And he got on. Now he told me he wanted a Linehaul, and I did tell him, I said, well, you might have a hard time getting Linehaul, so you might want to call, and ask. So he gets on, ultimately he doesn't get Linehaul. He ends up going to the city. So, he asked me, what's the pay for my terminal for city? I told him, and he gets on, expecting that same pay, and it wasn't that. Which brings up a good point, every terminal, regardless of the carrier you go to, it's gonna be different now. Of course, every company is gonna have, a company handbook, standard handbook. Now, whether or not it's enforced, it's gonna be based on the terminal, because every terminal is ran, a little different, and of course, management plays a big role in that. So you might have a terminal manager at Terminal A. He or she is right by the book, no ifs, buts about it, right by the book. You might go to another terminal, you might have another terminal where the terminal manager, he or she, is lenient, they might tweak the rules, they might let you get away with some things that maybe the other terminal manager doesn't, Let's talk about positions. Linehaul, P&D, those are gonna be your standard positions, for CDL, for LTL. Reality is every terminal is not gonna have Linehaul, There's some terminals out there that only have P&D, meaning Linehaul drivers from other terminals or bigger terminals. They're gonna come to those small terminals to pick up their freight and bring them freight, There's gonna be terminals out there that have only Linehaul. They don't even have P&D, so they might have a P&D terminal maybe a few miles up the road or elsewhere, So those might be your break bulk terminals. And also, guys, it is important that you know the type of terminal you're applying to. Are you gonna be applying to a break bulk terminal or an end of the line terminal? Those are important things to know. It's important too that you know how many drivers they have. If you're somebody that wants Linehaul, it's a good idea for you to know, how many Linehaul drivers they have. So let's just say you apply to a terminal that has 5 Linehaul drivers, 5 scheduled runs, and maybe 2 wild runs. A terminal like that, you're gonna have a hard time getting on, because more than likely, ain't nobody leaving. Now, you might go to another terminal that has maybe 150 scheduled runs and maybe 20 to 30 extra board runs. Now, a terminal like that, you're probably gonna have more luck getting in. If you're somebody that wants a bid run, again, the bigger terminals, your break bulks, you're gonna have more luck getting a bid run versus going to a terminal that has maybe 5 runs, It's important too that you ask the questions. If you want to do Linehaul, you need to ask them, can I come straight in? Because there's companies out there that are going to make you do stepping stones. Perfect example, at one point, I was interested in going to Southeastern. Now, some terminals there, they require you start in the city first before you can even get a shot at Linehaul. And then there's other terminals where you can come in off the street and get a Linehaul position. Now, of course, you're going to start off as a vacation relief driver in most cases, but the point is you can still get on. Now, if you're somebody that wants to do city, you need to ask, how long will I have to be a wild driver before I can get a run? Guys, it's important that you ask these questions. Now, let's talk about dock work. There's going to be some terminals, my company specifically, there's some terminals where Linehaul drivers work the dock. There's some terminals where Linehaul drivers don't have to touch a forklift, That's also just going to depend. Let's touch on pay real quick. Pay is going to be based on experience, in some cases, and it's also going to depend on where you live. Some states, obviously have a higher cost of living rate, so they're going to get paid a higher CPM or hourly rate versus a state that has a lower cost of living. So it's important that you keep that in mind. And again, it's important, guys, that you just I can't stress enough, make sure you ask the question. You need to be calling these terminal managers and asking them these questions. That way you're not disappointed. Now, of course, anybody who's interested in coming to Cooper, you know, you can ask me questions. I'm going to either tell you and give you an answer, or I'm just going to flat out tell you I don't know, but I'll make sure that I, you know, get you an answer, you know. But again, guys, make sure you ask the questions, and just keep in mind, every terminal is going to be run different. Some terminals are going to have both P&D and line haul, and then there's going to be some that don't, you know. Some are going to enforce wearing uniforms, some aren't. All right, catch y'all in the next one.